I just want to make a quick video about the seals that we find in Revelation 6. And I just want to be clear that this is not a prophecy. I'm not saying that I know for sure that the time has come for these seals to be open. I'm just saying that it is a good time right now to pay attention to what's happening and to understand what's going to happen when the seals are open. As we have seen in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, we have seen that the restrainer will be taken away from the earth before the coming and the revealing of the Antichrist. And that means basically before the first seal is broken. And once the first seal is broken, we have the conqueror who rides down to conquer the earth. Which we know from 2 Thessalonians 2 that his spirit was active all through the church age, but he is not able to actually conquer the earth until the restrainer is taken away. In the first seal, we have the conqueror coming down. He is making his move. He is taking steps to take over the world, to take over all countries of the world, which he will be able to do within a few years. One thing about the seals that I think is quite clear is that they happen very fast. This is not something that happens within a 10-year period or more, because then what is said does not make any sense anymore. 3.5 years would be a good number to give to it, and it could be less than that, of course, but just let's say 3.5 years, because we know that the 7 trumpets and the 7 bowls of God's wrath will be approximately 3.5 years each, and so the seals will also be 2 to 3 years time frame. And so the seals will be opened quickly, and in a way they will be together, but yet there is a pattern in which they're open. There's the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. The seals are numbered. And we know that they happen together quickly because the third seal is actually a combination of all 4 seals. And the result of the combination of the 4 seals put together is a fourth of the world's population dies of various reasons. But let's quickly look, before we look at the 4th seal, let's quickly look at the first seal. The first seal is the conqueror coming, and he is making his move to take over the world. And now in 2020, with this COVID event that is happening worldwide, it is an incredible event. It is something unbelievable, because with this COVID and the rules that have come with COVID, we see that there is no difference in any country anymore, basically. There are the few. There's Sweden that hasn't shut down and don't wear masks and say it's ridiculous, and there's Japan and things like that. But in general, it doesn't matter where you live on this world. You can be in Africa, you can be in Asia, you can be in America. You're all under the same rule. We were all shut down at the same time. We were all told at one point that masks were useless, and at this point we're told that masks, we have to wear masks. And there's rules everywhere in every single country. You can Google any country and pretty much the mask enforcement is coming around. These rules are not coming from the leaders of the world themselves. They're coming from the New World Order. And this is not a conspiracy theory. It's very obvious. If you look at this malaria drug, I can't even say that the word that President Trump has said was useful and many doctors have used. All of a sudden the CDC and the World Health Organization say no, that drug is not useful, which has been used for 50 over years, like it's extremely useful. And we have doctors coming out saying that they're using it and find it really good. And Trump tweets it, and so whether you agree with this or not, I don't care. This is not about medicine, but what I'm trying to show is Trump's opinion does not matter anymore. No one's opinion matters anymore. There is someone behind all the countries and all the decisions that are being made, because we can see it unfold. We can see that all countries have the exact same commands and rules, the 6-foot rule, the masks and all that. And that all comes from a centrality somewhere that it's beyond our personal countries. We can see that something is in control behind everything that's happening here. When the second seal is opened, we have a rider that comes. He takes away peace from the earth, and he brings a sword. There never really was peace on earth, although we have had a long time of peace in Europe and here in America personally, as a nation. This peace is largely to do with God's blessing. if God didn't bless the world in this way, there would be absolutely no peace. And at one point, the restrainer is going to be taken away, and along with the restrainer is going to go that peace. And this writer is allowed to take away the peace of the world. He comes and there's unrest everywhere. And so we have the rising of the Black Lives Matter. And we must understand that the Black Lives Matter, the protest, which everybody seems to call peaceful, is absolutely not peaceful. It has nothing to do with racism, although they claim that it does. And it has everything to do with defunding the police, getting rid of the old ways of all the countries, and of course the main focus is the United States of America, because they're going to be the hardest to deal with as far as taking over the countries of the world. But these protests are happening everywhere. You can look up almost any nation, which I've Googled several nations to see, and there's protests there. It may not be Black Lives Matter, but there's anti-government protests happening everywhere. There is unrest. And again, I'm not claiming that this is it, that the seals are being opened. I'm saying let's wake up and let's realize that this could be it. And this is what the book of Revelation is describing. The third seal comes about, and the third seal, the writer brings about famine around the world, not only in non-developed countries, but in first world countries. And because of the lockdown, not because of COVID, because of the lockdown the government has put on the countries of this world because of COVID, there has been lots of people who have lost jobs, and lots of people that can no longer pay rent, and there's going to be a huge repercussion in all countries of the world because they have been locked down for months, because people have lost their jobs, because they're no longer buying a lot, and of course many small companies are going to be closed down, and the big companies have been making way more money than they've ever made, just like, let's say, Walmart, for instance, who are allowed to stay open during this time. So everybody has to buy their products through these huge companies, and all the small companies are going broke. There's being more control given over to the large corporations. But there's going to be famine, not only because of COVID, and that's going to be a huge thing because people have been locked down, and you can read the news. They're saying recession has come. It is here. We're only going to really feel that in the coming year. But there's also been the locusts in Africa and Asia that's reached Nepal and stuff. The third seal brings about famine around the world. And it's extremely plausible that these famines are coming. Again, let's think about this. The fourth seal is one of the things I want to focus on, because the first three seals could happen without us really realizing it. Because in Matthew 24, the signs that Jesus gives us as the birth pains, the earthquakes, the unrest, the rumors of wars, the false teaching, all these things have been in the world during the church age, and at any given time in the church history, the church could have said, well, the time is here. During the first three seals, we still cannot have confidence that the seals are being open yet. It's still like, yeah, maybe. Is it open? Is it not? Like I'm saying right now, I really don't know. But once the fourth seal hits, I don't think we can miss it anymore, because the fourth seal, when the fourth seal is open, the rider is death, and Hades rides close behind him, and 1/4 of the global population will die. And I think it's going to be spread out. Of course, there'll probably be some spots that are more concentration of deaths, but globally, 1/4 of the population is going to die, according to Revelation 6. 1/4 of the global population is 2 billion people. All right, when 2 billion people die, and not just of normal deaths, not of old age or anything. I think it's normal for the global population to decrease 2%. So it's normal to lose 2% of the global population every year. Well, let's say this happens within a year or two. Within a year or two, 25% of the global population is going to disappear, either because of crime, because of plagues like COVID, because of famine, so because of hunger, they will die of hunger, or of wild beasts, which is kind of a weird one thrown in there for us. You can think about that yourself. This cannot be missed by us. To put this in perspective, this means that for every 4 people you know, one person out of the 4 will die. So this will not be missed. This is something that has not happened within the church history, and this is something that I don't think we will be able to miss. If we are in this opening of the seals, which I can't claim we are, we can expect the next thing to be lots of famine around the world. After that, and within that time, we can expect to lose a lot of people that we know. And then we must wake up as a church and say, well, okay, now we are most definitely at this point in Revelation 6 where the seals are being opened. Seal number 5 we know is the saints in heaven. They're crying out to God saying, when are you going to avenge our blood? And God says, just wait, just a little bit longer. And seal 6, like I said in another video, also we cannot miss that one. That one hasn't happened during the church age, the stars falling and the sun turning dark and people hiding in caves. And they cry out saying, hide us from the wrath of the Lamb. No one will miss the 6th seal. I think by the 4th seal, Christians will know what's going on. And by the 6th seal, everyone will know what's going on, because I believe that the rapture will happen then. Because why would non-Christian people be hiding in caves and saying, hide us from the wrath of the Lamb? They will understand that the wrath that is coming and that things that are happening in the stars in the sky are because of Jesus himself. And they will clearly understand that. So I believe they would have seen him come like lightning is seen from the east to west. They would have seen him take his church away, and they would completely understand what point they have come in. And after that point, the Antichrist is going to have to do some serious deceiving in order to show these people that he's the one that brought about all the events that had happened on earth. And he will deceive them in thinking that he is God and that he had caused all these things. I make this not to say that I completely think that we're at that point. I make this in order to say that we might be at that point, and that we should read and understand what the Bible does say will happen at the opening of the seals. And things that are happening in our world right now seem to fit in with the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd seal already. It hasn't become violent and a problem to the point of the 4th seal yet, but we can expect it to be if we are during that time. Be ready, prepare yourself. Like, we should be prepared at all times. This video, if 50 years from now we watch it, it will still be valid, because what is portrayed in Revelation 6 is something that will happen at one point in history. So we just need to study it no matter what. But I believe it would be very unwise not to study it at the time that we're living in right now. Read for yourself, think for yourself, think about what's happening around the world, and let's get together, let's pray, and let's be wise. Just like I said in my other video, let's be wise like Simeon and Anna, who fasted and prayed, and they were constantly watching for the coming of the Lord.